Hey, what's going on guys? Derrik here from Foxtrot. In today's video, I wanted to break down my kind of like my pack and my gear setup going into the 2022 hunting season. I meant to do like a more like outdoor video where I actually like go through all this in real time, but here I am September 28th trying to record this video to kind of get out what my setup is going into this year. And also the one piece of gear that I think is my like number one thing that I would recommend to people asking for like a piece of gear that really makes a difference. So more on that in a little bit. So starting with my bow setup, I am still using my 2020 Matthews VXR, the 28. So I love this bow. I'm pulling 70 pounds on it, and I'm a lefty actually, so it's a left-handed version. And I have the Spot Hog Fast Eddy XL double pin sight on there. I've had this set up for like 3 years now. This will be my third season with it. And to me, like, you obviously get used to, you know, the setup that you've been using for a while, but I love this setup. Like I mentioned, for Idaho out west, that double pin Spot Hog sight is amazing. And then also just the VXR, the 28, it was kind of like the first introduction into the shorter axle to axle that I remember, because now they have the, you know, the V3 and the V3X. Both in 27, I think. I love this bow, no plans on changing. Yeah, so that's what I'm rocking this year. In terms of arrow setup, I'm using the Easton Axis arrows, 300 spine with a 75 grain insert at the tip. Big fan of these arrows. And then I also have the Annihilator broadhead at the front of it. I've seen a bunch of stuff on the Annihilator broadheads. I'm a big fan of them. I've been using those since they came out 2 or 3 years ago. In 2020, which was the first year that I used them, I killed my first public land bull in Idaho with it, and that bull died within 80 yards of where I shot him. And then I also killed 2 bucks that year, one on Michigan public and one on Indiana public, that also died within like 100 yards of where I shot them. So I really like this broadhead. I will say, like, the, you know, some of the feedback I think that Annihilator has received is just the almost like the shock that you have when you see how small it is. As someone that came from mechanicals, that was one of my first impressions too, is just how small and compact that broadhead is. Obviously with the fixed blade you have a little more tinkering, so whether you do like the French tuning, the walk back tuning, or like, you know, your bear shaft tuning, I did all of those things, so my bow is very in time and ran it through paper and cams are synced up. So as long as that is the case for you and your bow, this broadhead flies amazing. So that's my number one thing. Total arrow weight with all of that considered is around 525 grains. So when I get to the tree and I'm climbing, what gear am I using? I am this year currently going to use the Lone Wolf Custom Gear 14-inch double step sticks. I made a video on this a few months ago, and these sticks, so far, I like them. The weight, the double step, all really good things. I stealth strip them as always, just because I don't want to risk any type of clanking or noise. But there's been a couple times, and I think I'll probably make a review at the end of the year, where the stick has kind of kicked out on me a little bit. So more to come. I haven't like climbed enough trees to really say definitively if it's like a concern, but I've just noticed it on certain trees. The platform that I'll be using is the Lone Wolf Custom Gear fixed platform as well. This platform, big fan of this platform. I think it's the perfect size, sub 4 pounds, I guess 3.5 pounds, and have just really enjoyed using this platform in the tree so far. And then in terms of what I'm using to hang, I'm actually using the Latitude Method saddle. Actually, sorry, no, it's the Classic. I'm using the Classic. It's not the Method. I like the single panel. This saddle's amazing. I mean, the breathability, the size of it, the adjustability with the rope belt. I can go on and on about this saddle. I really do enjoy this saddle, and I think it's one of the best on the market, if not the best. And then along with that, I'm using the 8mm Vaporlight ropes as well, which are really nice, super compact. They fit in that little molly pouch. The lineman's belt and your tether all fit in that little molly pouch, and it's really, really compact. So for my filming setup this year, it's really not changing much. I am still going to use the 4th Arrow Micro Triple Arm, which is one that I bought last year and made some mods to, so that it'll function like the Lone Wolf Custom Gear Pocket Arm, where it can always fold in. I did see that they just came out with like the satellite camera arm, I believe, which is, I think, solves all these problems, and it's a slightly smaller base. But I'm using the Sony a6400, which is a light camera. It's a, you know, a crop sensor camera. But on top of that, I have my microphone and then also a monitor, because on that a6400, the monitor on the camera doesn't flip out to the side and you can't angle it. So sometimes it's hard to see what you're actually shooting, which is why I have that external monitor. And then on top of my point and shoot camera, I have a GoPro Hero 7, which is the second angle facing towards me. I want to update that soon. I was actually really hoping that GoPro would come out with a 360 camera this year. I heard that they may be coming out with one. But just last week they announced the Hero 11 and the Hero 11 Mini, I think were the two, but not a 360. So that's kind of, I really like the 7. The only thing is the battery life, and cold weather, those batteries just get zapped right away. So you have to be mindful of that. Okay, so the one piece of gear, guys, that I think that I could not live without, it's the piece of gear that I think everybody should have in their hunting setup, is the Mystery Ranch Pop-Up 28 backpack. I've had this pack for 3 years now. The first year I used it was for the 2020 Idaho public land elk hunt that we went on. I ended up shooting a bull that year. We were able to, you know, use the frame pack. It has a pop-up frame. Use that to pack out the bull, and it's an amazing backpack for out west. On top of that, I have found that it's also an amazing backpack for whitetail hunting. That same year, I actually shot a buck on public in Indiana, 3 miles deep in the woods, and we were able to quarter him up and also use the frame pack for that. So if you're in a state that allows you to quarter up a deer and you're really deep on public, this backpack with the frame is amazing for that. On top of that, I just find that it's a really comfortable size. I mean, I use a lot of gear because I sell film, and I never run into issues with not enough space. The frame, if you're not packing out an animal, it's perfect to put your saddle and your sticks, or even honestly, you could probably put your lock on or even a small stand in there too. So there's a lot of versatility to this pack. Not only can you use it for out west hunting, but you can use it for whitetail hunting. And if you're gonna pack an animal out and quarter it up, it's the best pack for that. I do know First Light just announced a new pack. Mystery Ranch actually just came out with a whitetail specific pack called the Treehouse, I believe, or it's a new model. And then you know, Sitka has their toolbox, and then the Fanatic pack, I think, as well. All of those I'm sure are great packs, but in terms of, you know, having the frame, if you're gonna do some out west stuff, packing in sticks, your platform, I feel like you can't go wrong with that Mystery Ranch Pop-Up 28. By the way, none of this is sponsored. All of this gear I bought with my own money, so in no way am I trying to promote one product or another. This is all just me and my setup going into this year, and kind of what I'm planning to use. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys are using in your packs and kind of like your setups this year. I'm really curious if there's like a piece of gear that you have that you feel is crucial to your success, or just like one that you couldn't live without. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you in the next one. Stay still, shoot straight.